This is the Meerkat in for D7 with the Broad Market Weekend Review, good through October the 29th, 2017. Hey, let's get right at it. It was big, huge Tech Friday. Big, huge booms on the market. That's right. Let's take a look at what happened Friday. Let's look at the daily charts, look at the weeklies, and we're at the end of the month, so we'll look at the monthlies as well on the broad markets here. So let's take a look first at the numbers. The S&P up 0.8%, and then we got the Dow up by 0.14, but there it was all about tech. Here's the Qs are up 2.9% in one day. Kaboom! How come that happened? Well, there was some big, huge Amazon up 13%, Google up 4%, Microsoft up as well. So, and Intel was up 7%. So no wonder tech was up, right? And then we have small caps up by 1%, and bank was also up 0.7%. However, the VIX, it dropped 13%, closed back underneath 10 again. We'll take a look at that chart in just a moment here. So let's go to the daily charts here on the S&P 500. And you can see this week we had a bull pullback and boom, new all-time high close on the daily chart here on the S&P. And on the Dow here, it's just high basing up here the last few days. Now, on Tuesday, it was a big, huge Dow day because several of the Dow components were up big. And so it's been up here and it's high basing here at all-time highs. But then again, Friday was tech day. We were doing a pullback here on tech and kaboom, look at that, new all-time highs on the NASDAQ here. Look at that. Beautiful, right? So that was a bull pullback. It was below the moving averages. We were a little bit concerned there, and it took off. And look at the volume. Boom, baby. That's right. Small caps here, they are just a high basing, high basing, high basing, high basing, high basing. They were up, but man, nothing like that. And then we got bank. It's going along for the ride. It's here now at new all-time highs on the daily chart. And then let's go to the VIX. Now, this is what I want to talk about. When Des did his video after Wednesday night, look at the VIX had gone all the way up here, up above 13, and it snapped back. And then on Friday, what happened? Bam! Back below 10. Folks, back here when we put the up candle, this was the lowest ever recorded since it was invented on the VIX. Now, what is the VIX? It is the call-put ratio on the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. And that is a normal number of people who buy calls, which is you make money when they go up, versus puts, make money when they go down. When people believe that the market is going to be dropping, they buy a lot more puts to protect their positions, and especially if they can't short the market. And that's what's measurement here. We are at all-time lows and sustained down here, very, very complacent. So people do not believe the prices are going down anytime soon. But what people believe and what happens in reality are often two different things, so we just need to be aware of that. And so let's go to oil here. I didn't even talk about oil, up 2.5% on Friday. Boom, boom, boom. We're still in buy on oil, and gold was actually up, even though we're currently on a buy on that, and it's pulled back here. I'm not willing to change the call yet. We'll see what Des has to say when he gets back from the convention there in Winnipeg. And again, same thing on silver. It's pulled back. It did come back up on Friday. Now let's go to the weekly charts. The SPY weekly here, look at that, beautiful. We're in a buy mode here. We're at all-time highs, but it did do a bit of a doji up here, right? So we had just slightly new high here, just barely on the S&P. It was down during the week, and they did that bull pullback and came back up. The Dow, however, boom, boom, boom. It was up, and a new all-time high close for the weekly chart there. And then we got the Qs here. It's been in this rising wedge. We've been just being careful, careful, careful. And right now, boom, that was big, and most of that was on Friday. That nice big. Look at how much down it was during the week. And then we've got the small cap Russells here. It's just been high basing 4 weeks in a row. Just cannot seem to break out to a new high here. So it's that one's lagging a little bit, and many of our picks in our V newsletter is from the smaller caps, so we've been kind of going sideways on many of our picks. But the tech picks, oh my goodness, they've been on fire. And then we got bank here on the weekly chart again, coming up here, new all-time high close on that as well. All right, now because it is the last week of the month here, let's go ahead and take a look at the monthly chart. S&P here. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. we are, look at that, no tails whatsoever. From where we opened to where we closed, we have virtually no tail here on the monthly. We just have 2 more days of trading there, so we're likely to close a higher here for the month. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. And on the Dow, I think we have 6 in a row here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And look at this. This has been a big month. Why? Earnings are coming back, and they're coming back strong. How about on the Qs here? The Qs here, boom. Now they have not been straight up. They were straight up, and then they went sideways, and then sideways. Now up again here. And the small caps again, they were basing, and then took off, and a little bit higher this month, but not nearly as big as they were in September. Okay, that's the monthly chart. So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart here on some of our tech stocks here. So give me a second. We'll get to the daily charts, and we'll get over to our tech listing and source our friends at Apple. Now, Apple is having, look at that on Friday. Kaboom! Man, up 3.5% on Friday on Apple. And now they did start taking pre-orders for the new iPhone 10, and they're going to start deliveries on that on Friday. However, its earnings are coming up here on Thursday, and estimates are they'll have 11% increase in their earnings and about a 9% increase in revenue. We'll see if they meet those expectations or not. And then on Friday, they actually start to deliver the iPhone 10s, and so there may be some numbers on that, and you may have some preliminary numbers on what the sales have been of the 8 version. So lots of news on Apple this week. So we were in a sell mode here, and then obviously Friday we had that big tech boom, and look at the volume. Look at the volume coming in. People are buying it up. Here was the big one on Friday. This was huge, up 13% here on Amazon on earnings. Again, you don't want to trade over earnings. You know, we'd call this a short, but you do not want to be in it when you're actually in earnings without protection of some kind, because this is what can happen. 13%, kaboom. Now, I do own 2 positions, 2 different levels here on Amazon, but I did have those protected. But I didn't need that. Took the protection off right away, and so we were able to manage that. Then we got Alibaba here. Boy, look at that. We have a sell on that, and it's just drifting down. And look at Baidu. You ready for Baidu? Bam! It's earnings here on Thursday night, and just crashed down here at 8% drop there on Baidu. Wow, that's the killer. All right, let's go to Facebook. It also has earnings coming up this week on Wednesday, and it has some really high expectations for its earnings coming up here. Again, on Friday, it took off along with the rest of the tech here. But on Wednesday, its estimates are for earnings up 43% and its revenue up 41%. Those are some pretty high expectations to fill into. So just be careful. We did have earnings on Wednesday. And then Intel, another big one that reported on Friday. Again, Dow component as well. Kaboom! Look at that, up 7%. Huge. And then we've got Google. And again, we had a buy down here, boom, boom on earnings. And then here's Google, Alphabet, boom. And it did go up higher here during the day, intraday, and then did pull back here, but still up on the day, 4.2%. Tasty. And then we had Microsoft also up 6%. Holy mackerel. So earnings are coming in pretty darn strong for most of them. And but then we have Nvidia here coming up, and its earnings is coming up not in another week or so, but it's right at the top of its resistance line on this rising wedge. It's back up to that area as well. Des did put a sell on that one on Wednesday, so that's his call on that one. It may not exceed that, or it might. We don't know. And then another one here that changed big is Twitter. Again, had a sell on that, bit of caution, it might hit support, and sure enough, it hit that 200 moving average. And look at the volume on earnings. Look at the volume, and kaboom, boom, 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 boom. It was up 6% just on Friday, and up even more on Thursday. So, you know, earnings, you do not want to trade over earnings. That is gambling there. That is a less than 50-50 chance that you get it in the right direction. and that's gambling. We only want to trade when the odds are in our favor. Well, this is Mark the Meerkat. You have a great week, and just remember, it's still in the height of earnings season, so know when your earnings are and trade either protected or get out of those positions before the earnings are announced, because you never know what's going to happen next. Trade well.